I must find more young men, or I fear our union is doomed.
Sir, I do not wish to be considered as in any way adverse to the organization of Negro regiments, further than as to its effects on the white race. If Negroes are to fight, they will not be content with sliding back into the status of slave or free Negro. I much prefer to keep Negroes yet for some time to come in a subordinate state, for our prejudices, yours as well as mine, are not yet schooled for absolute equality. I am with respect, your obedient servant, W.T. Sherman, Major General, Commanding Officer. December 22nd, 1864. To His Excellency, President Lincoln. I beg to present you as a Christmas gift the city of Savannah. With 150 heavy guns and plenty of ammunition. Also about 25,000 bales of cotton.
Before daylight this morning, the 9th of December, the 14th Army Corps, commanded by General Jeff C. Davis, crossed Ebenezer Creek. And by the order of General Davis, a guard was stationed at the bridge. They would not permit a Negro, man, woman, or child to cross. They never dreamed that they were to be entirely debarred the privilege of crossing, nor did they know it until the pioneers were tearing away the bridge after the last white soldier had crossed. Left, cruelly left, to the bitter mercies of the infuriated enemy following us. And then, such a wild panic has seized them, such bitter, heart-rending cries of despair, such pitiful beseeching entreaties to be permitted to cross, I never before witnessed or listened to. They ran wildly up and down the stream. Many plunged in and struggled through, yet many sank beneath the dark waters to rise no more.
Yes, sir. I have heard rumors about this incident.
Rumors. I have heard more than rumors that the officer who was in charge is hostile to the Negro. What do you have to say to that?
Well, Mr. Secretary, before you become prejudiced, why don't you interview General Davis and ask him yourself what occurred?
Send for him.
Now then, General Davis, you took it upon yourself to bar these Negroes from following your soldiers across the bridge.
No, not exactly.
Then what exactly?
I was simply obeying Special Field Orders number 119.
What the blazes is that?
It states that all surplus servants, non-combatants, and refugees should go to the rear, and none should be encouraged to encumber us on our march.
Ooh, and where did this Special Field Orders originate? Of course.
Mr. Secretary, we were coming upon creek after creek, and we had to move our pontoons with speed, or else we all could have been stranded.
But the Negroes were expendable.
I regret their circumstances, but it was simply military necessity.
We have nothing but sympathy for these poor Negroes. But from the outset, we implored them not to follow our army.
You do not know what they want!
Do you?
Thank you, General Davis. That'll be all. General, I want you to arrange a meeting for me here with leaders in the Negro community.
And the purpose of this meeting is?
Why, so I can answer your question.
There's a meeting here tonight. There's a meeting here tonight. I know by your friendly face. There's a meeting here tonight. There's a meeting here tonight. There's a meeting here tonight. I know by your friendly face. There's a meeting here tonight. There's a meeting here tonight. There's a meeting here tonight. I know by your friendly face. There's a meeting here tonight.
Now I went down to the valley one day.
I went down to the valley one day.
Met old Satan on my way.
Met old Satan on my way.
What do you reckon that he say?
What do you reckon that he say?
Turn back now, you're
Too young to pray, too young to pray, too young to pray.
'Cause there's a meeting here tonight. There's a meeting here tonight.
Arthur Wardell, age of 44, born in Liberty County, Georgia. I was a slave until freed by the Union Army. I was owned by A.A. Solomon of Savannah. I'm a licensed ministry in the Baptist Church. I've been in the ministry for 6 years.
Glaskin Taylor, age 72. I was born in Wilkes County, Georgia. Owned by A.P. Whitter. I was freed when the Union Army came. I'm a local pastor at the M.E. Church, and I've been in the ministry for 35 years.
Garrison Frazier, age 67 years, born in Granville, North Carolina, a slave until 8 years ago, when I bought my wife and myself, paying $1,000 in gold and silver. I'm an ordained minister in the Baptist Church, but my health failing, I have now charge of no congregation. I too have been in the ministry 35 years.
My name is Jacob Godfrey. I'm 47 years old. I was born not far from here in a town called Marion, South Carolina. I too was a slave until I was freed by the Union Army. I was owned by a man named James E. Godfrey, a Methodist minister. But when I got my freedom, he left to join the rebel army. I have been a class president and a steward since 1836 at St. Andrew's Chapel.
My name is Robert N. Taylor. I'm 51 years of age. I was born in Wilkes County, Georgia. I was a slave to Augustus P. Welcher of Savannah. I've been a class leader in Andrews Chapel for the better of 9 years.
I'm Alexander Harris. I'm 47 years old. I was born here in Savannah. I was free-born, and I'm a licensed minister at Third African Baptist Church for about 1 month.
John Johnson, age 51 years. Born in Bryan County, Georgia. I was a slave up to the time the Union Army came here. My owner was W.W. Lincoln of Savannah. For 16 years, I've been a class leader and treasurer of Andrews Chapel.
James Porter, age 39 years. Born Charleston, South Carolina. I'm free-born. my mother having purchased her freedom. I'm lay leader and president of the Board of Wardens, St. Stephen's Protestant Episcopal Colored Church of Savannah. I've been in communion 9 years, congregation numbering 200.
Abraham Bird, age 48, born in Bryan County, Georgia. I was a slave 20 years ago until I bought myself for $800. I've been in this ministry for 10 years.
William Gaines, age 41 years. I was born in Wills County, Georgia. I was a slave until freed by the Union forces. I was owned by Robert Toombs, formerly a United States Senator, and his brother Gabriel Toombs. I am a local preacher of the M.E. Church, that's Andrew's Chapel. I've been in the ministry 16 years.
Ulysses Houston, aged 41 years. I was born in Grahamsville, South Carolina, and was a slave until the Union Army entered Savannah and freed me. I am pastor of Third African Baptist Church here in Savannah. We have a congregation of 400. I have been in the ministry about 8 years now.
Sir, my name is William Bentley, and I'm the pastor of St. Andrew's Chapel. We're the only Methodist Episcopal Church in Savannah, and we've got 320 members, and we own our property. It's valued at $20,000. It's been a long journey. I'm 71 years old. I was emancipated when I was 25 by my master, John Waters. And since that time, I've been in the ministry, and I've been the pastor at this church for 20 some odd years, and I'm also a member of the Georgia Conference.
I am William J. Campbell, 51 years of age, born in Savannah, a slave until 1849 when I was liberated by my mistress, Miss May Maxwell. For the past 10 years, I've been the pastor of First African Baptist Church. Our membership are over 1,800 members.
John Cox, age 58 years. I also was a slave until 1849, but I brought my freedom for $1,100. I am pastor of the Second African Baptist Church. Our congregation numbers 1,222 persons.
I'm James Mills, age 56, born in Savannah. I'm freeborn. I'm a licensed preacher of the First Baptist Church, and I've been in the ministry for 8 years.
Adolphus Delmont, age 28. I was born here in Savannah, Georgia, freeborn. I'm the licensed minister of the Missionary Baptist Church in Millersville. Congregation there numbers about 300, 400 persons. I've been in ministry for about 2 years.
Sir, my name is Charles Bradwell. Age around now 40 years. Born in Liberty County, Georgia. Now, I was a slave till around now 1851 when I was emancipated by the will of my master, Master J.L. Bradwell. Now, I'm the local preacher in charge of Andrew's Chapel in the absence of the minister. And I've been in the ministry 10 years.
I am James Hill. I am 52 years age. I was born enslaved on Bryan Neck in Bryan County, Georgia. I was owned by H.F. Williams of Savannah and was enslaved until the time the Union Army come here. I got 16 years in the ministry.
My name is Andrew Neal, and I'm 61 years of age, and I was born right here in Savannah. And I was a slave until the Union Army liberated me and set me free. I was owned by Mr. William Gibbons. but I've been a deacon in the 3rd Baptist Church for 10 years. Praise the Lord.
I am James Lynch. I am 26 years old. I was born free in Baltimore, Maryland. I am the presiding elder of the ME Church and missionary to the Department of the South. I've been in the ministry for 7 years. I've been in the South for 2.
There's a meeting here tonight. There's a meeting here tonight. I know by your friendly face. There's a meeting here tonight. There's a meeting here tonight. There's a meeting here tonight. I know by your friendly face. There's a meeting here tonight. There's a meeting here tonight. There's a meeting here tonight. I know by your friendly face. There's a meeting here tonight.
I understand that, as instructed, you have chosen one among you to speak for all. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Secretary Stanton, for reasons I know not why, that humbling honor has fallen to me. My name is Garrison Frazier, and I will do my best to represent adequately the views of my brethren.
Please, sir, won't you have a seat opposite me? State what your understanding is in regard to the acts of Congress and President Lincoln's proclamation touching the condition of the colored people in the rebel states.
Well, so far as I understand President Lincoln's proclamation to the rebellious states, it is that if they would lay down their arms and submit to the laws of the United States before the 1st of January, 1863, then all should be well. But if they did not, then all the slaves of the rebel states should be free, henceforth and forever. That is what I understood.
State what you understand by slavery and the freedom that was to be given by the President's proclamation.
Slavery is the receiving by irresistible power the work of another man, and not by his consent. This freedom, as I understand it, promised by the proclamation, is taking us from under the yoke of bondage and placing us where we can reap the fruit of our labor, take care of ourselves, and help the government maintain our freedom.
State in what manner you think you can take care of yourself, and how can you best assist the government in maintaining your freedom?
We can best take care of ourselves by having land, turn it, till it by our own labor. That is the labor of our women, children, and old men, and we can soon maintain ourselves and have something to spare. To assist the government, our young men should enlist in the service of the government and serve in such a manner as they may be wanted. But we want to be placed on land until we can buy it and make it our own.
State in what manner you would rather live, whether scattered among the whites or in colonies by yourselves.
I would prefer to live by ourselves, for there's a prejudice against us in the South that will take years to get over. But I don't know that I can answer for my brethren.
Yes, since it is such an elemental question, I would like each of you state his position for the record.
Yes, sir. I must say I agree with the position of Brother Frazier.
I too agree.
Brother Frazier has accurately expressed my sentiments.
Mine too.
I too agree with Brother Frazier.
Without doubt, Brother Frazier speaks for me too.
Yes, I agree.
Yes, sir, I agree.
Brother Frazier is correct.
Yes, he is.
I agree. I'm on one accord with Brother Frazier.
I too am in agreement.
And me.
All I may say to that is amen.
With all respect to my distinguished gentleman, I must dissent from this opinion. I certainly agree with Brother Frazier that there is a great prejudice against us here in the South. But if we do not face this prejudice as being, as Secretary Stanton says, scattered among the whites, then will we ever reach racial accord? Do we really want to live separate but equal? Perhaps I am influenced, as one tends to be, by the influences of my life. See, I was born free in Baltimore, Maryland. And unlike the distinguished gentleman here, I was educated in the North, and I also taught school there. I may tell you, sirs, that racial prejudice is not limited to one side of the country, or might I say even one side of the continent, or even the hemisphere. Now you may say, what does Brother Lynch know of the South? Being a relative newcomer to these climes, indeed that is true. But I've been here for 2 years as a Methodist missionary to the Department of the South. But I tell you, sirs, I've looked into the eyes and the souls of the white men and women in this city, and they are afflicted with the same disease as their brothers and sisters to the north. No offense to Secretary Stanton and General Sherman. But they feel as if our race is inferior to their own. Even the most fervent white abolitionists they display a paternalistic attitude against our race. They know what's best for us. Is this any different than the mind of a slave master? There is a solution to this degrading attitude. We should fully integrate into the white community. Most respectively, my brethren, we first must educate those among us who have been deprived of learning. A first-rate education, as I have been fortunate enough to receive, is the answer. I hope that one day my children can walk hand in hand with white children into the schoolhouse together, into the same schoolhouse together, so that they may learn and discover the world together and learn from each other and about each other. Well, I do apologize for my prolonged outburst, and I respectfully dissent from this opinion, but thank you for your indulgence and your attentiveness.
Pardon me, young man. What was your name again?
James Lynch, Mr. Secretary.
Damn fool. Forgive me, Lord.
Do you think that there's intelligence enough among the slaves of the South to maintain themselves under the government of the United States and the equal protection of its laws and maintain good and peaceable relations among yourselves and with your neighbors?
I think there is sufficient intelligence among us to do so.
What, in your opinion, is the feeling of the colored people about enlisting and serving as soldiers of the United States? And what kind of service do they prefer?
Well, a large number have gone as soldiers to Port Royal to be drilled and put into service. And I think that there are thousands more that would enlist. But there's something about them that perhaps is wrong. They have suffered for so long from the rebels, they want to shoulder the musket. Others want to join the quartermaster's or commissary service.
State what, in your opinion, is the best way to enlist colored men for soldiers.
I think, sir, that all compulsory operations should be put a stop to. The ministers would talk to them, and the young men would enlist.
Yes, that's true.
In my opinion, it would be far better for the state agents to stay at home and the enlistments to be made for the United States under the direction of General Sherman.
That's right. Yes. 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 Yes.
State what is the feeling of the colored people in regard to General Sherman, and how far do they regard his sentiments and actions as friendly to their rights and interests or otherwise?
We looked upon General Sherman prior to his arrival as a man in the providence of God, especially set apart to accomplish this work. And we unanimously feel inexpressible gratitude toward him, looking upon him as a man that should be honored for the faithful performance of his duty.
That's right.
Some of us called upon him immediately upon his arrival, and it is probable he would not meet the secretary with more courtesy than he met us. His conduct and deportment toward us characterize him as a friend and a gentleman. We have confidence in General Sherman and think that what concerns us could not be under better hands. That is our opinion now, from the short acquaintance and interest we have had.
And this is the considered opinion of you all.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Having only met the general this evening, I am unwilling to give my opinion.
Sweet Canaan's happy land, I am bound for. Sweet Canaan's happy land, I am bound for. Sweet Canaan's happy land, pray give me your right hand. Oh, my brother, did you come for to help me? Oh, my brother, did you come for to help me? Oh, my brother, did you come for to help me? Pray give me your right hand. Oh, my sister, did you come for to help me? Oh, my sister, did you come for to help me? Oh, my sister, did you come for to help me? Pray give me.
Now, make sure in that second section you put in that you are encouraging Negroes to enlist as soldiers, General. You understand that, don't you? Yes, you do, right? Yes? Yes, you do. Very good. I think we have it now. Read that first section again.
The islands from Charleston south, the abandoned rice fields along the rivers for 30 miles back from the sea, and the country bordering the St. Johns River, Florida, are reserved and set apart for a settlement of the Negroes now made free by the acts of war and the proclamation of the President of the United States.
Very good. See that you publish the order at once.
Yes, sir.
Oh, and didn't you want to dispense of some of your old army mules?
Quite a few, actually.
Well then, why not let the freedmen have them?
So all the Negroes shall gain 40 acres and a mule.
Yes, precisely.
In the proclamation of the President, and in the order of General Sherman are the means to make you free men and to own the soil you live on. All these beautiful, fruitful islands spoken of are yours. I have been appointed by General Sherman as Inspector of Plantations and will aid you in the getting of 40-acre farms as homes. I am aware that it was in a great degree by your labor that this beautiful city was built. And when you are free, you certainly can build houses and villages and cities for yourselves.
But Mother can't help me cross. Mother will be waiting. She can't help me cross. Mother will be waiting. She can't help me cross. I've got one more river to cross.